The sun was shining brightly as Boxo found himself outside, basking in its warmth. His attention was immediately captured by the sight of some adorable deer nearby. To his surprise, they weren't the menacing monsters he had encountered before. Their innocent cuteness overwhelmed him, and he couldn't help but appreciate their charming presence. However, Boxo's good mood was soon interrupted by an enduring complaint. He couldn't shake off the fact that he had been stuck on a cart for a whole 8 hours. The discomfort and boredom of the long journey had really taken a toll on him. 8 hours earlier, a group of guys had picked Boxo up from in front of a shop and informed him that the director wanted him to set up somewhere else for a while. What puzzled Boxo was that the person driving the cart was none other than the same individual who had attempted to steal from him during the campaign. Skepticism tugged at his thoughts, making him wonder whether the guy had genuinely changed or if there was something going on. Despite his doubts, Boxo decided to give the guy the benefit of the doubt, assuming that perhaps he had undergone a transformation of character due to the director's request. As they continued their journey, Boxo's suspicions grew stronger. He couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. The landscape around them changed as they moved further away from familiar surroundings. Finally, they stopped to take a break, and Boxo saw an opportunity to be clever. He discreetly used his security cam to capture pictures of the men carrying him. Much to his dismay, the thief from before was among them. The thief menacingly pulled out a knife, demanding food and drink from Boxo. Refusing to yield to the intimidation, Boxo stood his ground. Unfortunately, his resolve came at a price. Boxo ended up getting stabbed, causing some damage to his durability. Pain and frustration seeped through him, but he refused to show weakness in front of his assailants. Just when things were turning grim, the boss of the bandits stepped in. Recognizing Boxo's unique value and importance, the boss ordered the others to back off, realizing that their real prize was the gold they sought. However, the boss insisted that Boxo cooperate, and when Boxo refused once again, the minions were directed to use force. Boxo's durability was put to the test as he endured a brutal beating. Using 1,000 points, he increased his durability by 10, a bold move that rendered the bandits' weapons ineffective against him. Now protected by an impenetrable shield, Boxo's confidence surged. The bandits, realizing they couldn't damage or extort Boxo, stopped their attack. Boxo served the bandits a drink, but it turned out to be utterly disgusting. They spit it out in disgust, and Boxo couldn't help but menacingly laugh at their reaction. The bandits then carried Boxo to a woman named Hirumi. She had an air of mystery and wonder about her, with brown hair and enchanting orange eyes. Boxo had heard of her before. She was a renowned magic item engineer, as Lamis had mentioned during their previous encounters. When Boxo responded to her, Hirumi was delighted to finally meet him. She read his pamphlet with genuine curiosity and intrigue. To his surprise, Hirumi began contemplating the idea of a human soul being placed into an inanimate object. Boxo admired her brilliance. He served her a hot drink, hoping to make her feel more at ease. As they continued to converse, Boxo confirmed that he was indeed a human soul inhabiting his current mechanical form, fully aware of his past life and memories. Boxo, realizing that his ability to remember his past life might be a rarity, wondered about the implications of Hirumi's interest in him. He couldn't help but ponder over her intentions and the potential reasons behind her fascination. As Hirumi passed out, the bandits saw an opportunity to sneak into the room. But they were in for a surprise. In a swift and impressive display, Boxo transformed into a stunning magazine machine, leaving the bandits in awe. Unable to resist the temptation of the magazines, the bandits quickly returned to their room, excited for some private time with the intriguing reading material. Boxo's clever transformation had effectively diverted their attention, buying him and Hirumi some much-needed respite. The next day, Hirumi woke up and noticed a piece of bread on the floor, signaling it was morning time. Boxo, noticing her hunger, dispensed her some fresh Ezekiel bread. She was thrilled and eagerly tried out multiple items from the machine, fascinated by the ingenuity of his design. However, their pleasant moment was interrupted by the imposing figure of the boss. The boss reminded Hirumi of the deadline she had to figure things out, and Boxo couldn't help but feel a sense of urgency. He wanted to protect Hirumi and support her in any way possible. Time was of the essence, and he knew they couldn't afford to waste a single moment. In response to the pressure, Hirumi got back to work, using her magical engineering skills to analyze. Boxo observed her intently, admiring the way her mind worked. As the hours passed, Boxo noticed that Hirumi's hair seemed a bit itchy. Ever thoughtful, he offered her some shampoo and conditioner to alleviate her discomfort. She gratefully accepted his assistance. With her hair now clean and refreshed, Hirumi thanked Boxo warmly, touched by his consideration. As the deadline loomed closer, Boxo's anxiety grew. He knew they needed a plan, and fast. Time was slipping away, and the thought of failure weighed heavily on his mind. In a moment of respite, Boxo and Hirumi sat together, pondering their escape plans. Hirumi, ever the strategic thinker, came up with various ideas and scenarios, discussing each one with Boxo. They debated the risks and the potential outcomes, both knowing that their decisions could shape their fate. Hirumi was adamant about one thing: she didn't want Boxo to sacrifice himself. In a moment of vulnerability, Hirumi shared with Boxo her lack of fear of death. She revealed her acceptance of mortality, a revelation that left Boxo both stunned and puzzled. How could someone be so at peace with something so inherently terrifying? The question lingered in Boxo's mind as he observed Hirumi, who appeared strong and resilient on the outside, yet depressed on the inside. Before he could explore deeper into her thoughts, Hirumi excused herself to take a nap. They wished each other good night. In the middle of the night, a loud banging sound startled Boxo awake. The bandits screamed about an attack, sending a wave of tension through the room. Boxo woke Hirumi with his automated responses. Outside, a battle had begun, led by none other than Lamis, seemingly concerned like a mother figure, yelling Boxo's name with urgency. Hirumi couldn't help but wondered why Lamis was there. She suspects the Hunters Guild of making a move. As she confirmed his connection with Lamis to Hirumi, a sense of relief washed over him. She was glad to have someone they knew and trusted in this chaotic situation. Boxo promised Hirumi that he would protect her should the need arise. The tension outside escalated. Hirumi informed Boxo that they were in an unsafe spot. Explosives and valuable items were stored above them. In an instant, the ground was shaken by a sudden explosion, sending shockwaves through the room. The crates above, filled with bombs, had exploded, causing the roof to collapse. However, just in the nick of time, Boxo's blessed barrier came to their rescue. The barrier protected them from the debris and danger, granting them a brief respite from the mayhem outside. However, Boxo knew that the barrier couldn't hold up forever. Desperate for a solution, Hirumi suggested using points to strengthen the barrier. Boxo's mind raced, trying to figure out the best way to obtain more points. Hirumi's keen observation led her to spot a bag of gold coins outside the barrier. They decided they would let the bag of coins inside and use them to buy sodas, further reinforcing the barrier. With each soda purchased, the barrier grew stronger. However, as the barrier grew stronger, Hirumi's breathing grew weaker. Boxo's heart raced as he realized that the lack of oxygen was taking a toll on her. As time dwindled away, the thought of letting Hirumi die was unbearable for Boxo. In a desperate move, he transformed into an oxygen machine, providing her with a lifeline. She promptly placed the oxygen mask over her face. Grateful for Boxo's help, Hirumi complimented him, jokingly saying that if he were a man made of flesh, she wouldn't resist him. Amidst Lamis's continuous yelling, Boxo responded, and she was thrilled to see him. Boxo let Lamis through the barrier, but accidentally, she dropped onto him, causing some damage to his durability. She burst into tears, blaming herself for losing sight of them and letting this situation happen. Boxo reassured her, letting her know that they were safe now and that they would find a way to get through this together. Eventually, they managed to escape from beneath the rubble, with Lammy still holding on to Boxo and tears streaming down her face. The captain walked alongside the blue-haired woman, who was surprised that he assisted in finding Boxo. The captain confessed how vital Boxo was in fulfilling the dreams of the menagerie of fools. Despite the circumstances, Lammies clung tightly to Boxo, reluctant to let him go. Suddenly, Hulami approached, and Lammies only just noticed her presence. This is where our episode concludes. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the content and made it to the end, please like and subscribe.